Hey guys, it's Lonnie,
And Lisa.
and this is A
Oh,
Whole Mom. So, A Whole Mom is dedicated to those of us who are trying to adult out here while being a whole mom. So, today, Lisa and I are snowed in and
yes. So we
we're
out
on
here.
Zoom
We out here
because
on
we
Zoom.
because we wanted to be consistent
Right.
and make sure that we are here for you guys creating this safe space. So we're gonna jump right into it because this is our free Zoom and we only have so many minutes. Um, so guys, we're going into February also. So Lisa has done some great things for us, and we're going to talk about dating, love, whatever.
Where's my heart? February.
Yay! So we're gonna dive right into it. Lisa, what are we
Yeah.
talking about today in
Okay.
the realm of dating?
So first things first, guys. I finally watched Bridgerton. And that was a big reason that I wanted to talk about this topic today, which is basically courting. So I want to talk about dating, but I also want to talk about like the idea of courting. Like, does it still exist, right? So first, friend,
Yes.
I want to get your perspective on what is dating in 2021.
What is dating?
Is dating a thing? What do you think? I have
I
no
feel like it's supposed to be a thing. All right. So, however, I do feel like most of the time people end up finding one person that they start off talking to, and then they just continue to talk to each other, and they kind of just fall into dating,
Mm.
into a relationship or something.
But then, even
And
like, what is talking to?
girl, I don't know. I'm confused because in my mind, you date several different people, right?
Uh huh.
To figure out who you like, who you don't like, what you like or don't like, who you are, what you want out of a relationship or
Right.
a partnership.
Right.
So I don't know. I do still feel like it's hard because I also feel like society has said that, when you're talking to someone, like you're supposed to be loyal in the talking stage. And so, therefore, if you're
Right.
talking to someone else, then you're not being loyal to that person. I'm lost out here.
My whole thing, first of all, is what is talking one, and second of all, why should we not be dating multiple people at one time?
Honestly, for us, I think it's more difficult because we live in a smaller city
Facts.
and everyone knows everyone. And so I think that people also assume that if you're dating someone or talking to someone, then you're having sex with them, which is not necessarily the case.
Facts.
Like word travels. So, oh, I saw such and such on a date or, like at this place with someone. And then I just don't know. It's too much.
It is. My whole so first of all, first things first, tidbit about me. I had for you all, not for Lon. She knows what's up. But I for a long time was just like, why date? No. Just because I just felt like I was over it. But in
Mhm.
2020, right before pandemic hit, I was like, I'm gonna open myself up to dating now. And then the pandemic hit, and God was like, girl, no. Um, but so I just feel like my thoughts around actually dating, like, I first of all, I just feel like nobody be dating, because I feel like dating is getting to know different people and deciding who you would like to give your time to. And I don't feel like
Right.
people really do that. And that's why watching Bridgerton really made me like think about that concept,
Hmm.
because on there it was clear that like each woman was giving multiple men their shot, basically,
Right.
and like allowing them the time. Now, obviously, the time period didn't really allow women too many freedoms because they had to be, supervised, and
Yeah.
they like had to wear a thing around their wrist.
What did they call it? What did they call it? A chaperone? So the person that had to like kind of accompany
Yeah,
them, were they called a chaperone?
it was chaperone.
Okay.
Um,
But they were also like going for walks in the park, or there were like certain days and times where everyone was out courting,
promenade.
right?
Mhm. I'm with it.
So yeah, like that was very interesting. I guess like we're all gonna have to start speed dating or something.
So that's what I wanted. So I feel like there are some things like specifically from that show that I saw.
Right.
And like when you think about like old school courting, then I'm just like, yes, we women are more liberated now, and
Hmm.
we don't necessarily want all of the constraints of that, but some of
I'm okay with it.
that.
Yeah.
So, first thing that I would want to bring back is, like I said, dating multiple people without anybody being in my business or.
Just mind your business. If we all just minded our business, the world would be a much better place.
And I also just feel like I think it has to do with too, like an understanding between you and the person you're dating.
Yes.
Because obviously, oh no, I didn't. I put my phone on silent.
Yeah.
But I feel like obviously everyone there had an understanding. Like everybody knew what it was before they became a part of it.
Right.
So everybody, you know what I'm saying, knew like what the situation was about to be as far as like the season and like dating. They knew that
Mhm.
like, okay, when I get to Shorty's house, it's gonna be multiple other dudes there trying to
Standing
holler at
in
me.
line.
Right. So I gotta bring my A game. And
Hmm.
I just feel like, yeah, we should definitely be doing that.
I feel like it would be okay, like I said, if everyone just minded their own business, and also if we ourselves would just kind of let go of what other people are thinking
Right.
and just be able to live.
I personally feel like I don't care what any of y'all are thinking, as long as me and the people, because multiple, that I am dating
Yeah.
have an understanding of what we're doing here.
And
And
that is what's
that's the
most
thing. Like, I
important.
don't want nobody like feeling like I'm trying to play them or like hurt their feelings
Right.
or waste their time. But also, would I look like putting all my eggs in your basket?
Right. So I guess like we all, men and women, have to be comfortable in knowing that. And when you decide, like, oh, like I really like this person and
Right.
I'm going to focus on this person, then you have to let that be known also, right?
Yes. That's the thing. So you got to be honest and you got to be ready to have grown up conversations.
Girl, you got to be vulnerable.
Maybe that's the problem.
I struggle
I
big
don't
time.
really mind. That's also my thing of let's bring that back to dating. Is being real and being honest,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And not being scared to be vulnerable because it's obvious like obviously different people have their different reasons for dating, right? Some people are
Right.
just, in it for specific things, but be honest about
Right.
what it is.
And maybe somebody else is in it for those same specific things.
Exactly. Like that's I feel like that's the difference between, 300 years ago and today is that like people were specifically going through this process to be
Hmm.
married at the end. And everybody is not necessarily dating to be married, which I don't know. Like I have my feelings about marriage, I guess, but I also just feel like what was it? I think you sent me something one time and it was like somebody was saying something about, you know, people say that they don't want to waste their time,
Oh, yeah.
right? But like even if you're not dating to be in a relationship is not necessarily a waste of time because there are moments that you can enjoy and blah blah blah. So it's not a waste of time because you enjoyed the time.
I,
Which Go ahead, friend.
I feel like that is okay if the person that you're with has the same thoughts,
Right.
the same ideas. However, that's not going to work if one of those people is looking for that. And I like to call it, like a partnership,
Right.
not necessarily marriage. And marriage is not the be all, the end all for me.
Right.
Um, However, I would like to have a partnership with someone. And, like I would like to be married, but like I said, that's not my life's purpose.
Right.
So, like we said, those conversations have to be had. And I don't feel like I just want to have all these moments with so many different people. But, I feel that way also because I have a nice size friend group with great quality.
And there you have it,
So
friend.
those things I can do with my friends. And so when I am putting myself out, I hate to say when I'm looking for, but when I'm putting myself out there, positioning myself to date or make connections with other people, then I'm looking for something that I can't, or that something different from what I'm already getting from my other relationships.
Exactamente. That's what it is. Because the person that wrote that was a man. And I
It
feel
was.
like he just don't know what a friend is. Because all of the things that he described, as far as like, making memories and doing fun things and spending time together, these are what your friends are for.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to be friends with me, then we can say that and we can
Right.
do those things
Right.
and make great memories and have a great time and be great friends. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to say that you're freaking dating me to do those things. I think that is where the disconnect is because a lot of people aren't able to have friendships with people of the opposite sex.
Girl, I almost cussed. Y'all, excuse me. But my friendships with with men, they are great. I love it. Like we go out to dinner, like we
Right.
hang out. It's the best. And I really don't. Of course, people are gonna say like, "Oh, like you guys have something going on," and I could care less
Right.
because like these are people that I really value. I value their opinion and their family. So I hate that a lot of today's society does not feel like
That is
two people can be in a platonic. People of the opposite sex
right.
can have a healthy relationship.
Now I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Historically, I am a true Pisces in that regard, and I'm gonna like you.
So they say that at some point one person likes the other person more at some point, but that does not mean that it has to go anywhere.
Right, and I also feel like that that was before therapy. So maybe with some introspection, I could
Okay.
come to a point where I realize why I felt the need to feel that those feelings, to be romantic or to like
Mhm.
see our relationship as romantic when it wasn't
Mhm.
necessarily. But I have
Mhm.
definitely had friends and I've been like, we enjoy each other so much. Why don't we just take it to the next level? And then it just
It don't
okay.
work.
Right. And so I think that, but that might be, me being a part of this larger environment that says that, a man and
Mhm.
woman who enjoy spending so much time together should just be in a relationship. And
Oh, y'all are already best friends, so
right,
why don't you just make it official, right?
right. Where did you go for him? Oh, there you go.
I'm
Your
here,
picture
sorry.
came up for a second. You're good. But yeah, so maybe that is what it is that drove me to like feel that way in the past. I was also much younger. So I do have a no, I'm gonna say I have one male friend right now.
I have two very close. male friends.
See, I don't have super close relationships with any men right now. In the past, when I
Mhm.
have had those relationships, generally I have messed them up.
At least you know that
But
it was you.
also, I mean, it wasn't just me. Obviously, it takes two to tango.
It does.
Period. But also,
But you're acknowledging your
yes,
own stuff.
because bringing it back to the reason that we even got into that discussion, I am not afraid to be vulnerable. And I will be like, hey, I likes you. Do you likes me? And so in those moments, it's been
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and do this thing.
Okay.
So, and then it just went bad. But so yeah, I think that stops us from really being able to connect with people just as people, right?
Hmm.
Because we feel like it has to be some romantic thing. Because sometimes I'll be like my homegirls, I'll be like, if this was a man, I would have been trying to holler at her. Like you, friend, I would have been like, what's good? My friend.
Right?
Like,
Because we can just get married and be
why don't
happy.
we try this out? That might
I'm
just
gonna give if we 45 and we not married, we just gonna go ahead and do the damn thing. Okay.
45. All right, that's cool.
Okay.
12, I got 12 years. 11.
That's
Whatever.
that's a long time.
It ain't long as you think.
But yeah, so you are one of those people that is not afraid of being vulnerable. Me, I just like sometimes it's okay. I find myself okay, so since I have been dating, I do find that it's more easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I'm definitely like accepting myself for who I am more. And so that does make it easier. Um, However, I was riding in the car the other day and I was just thinking about, like dating patterns and just really understanding myself and the things that I like, the things that I can deal with and the things that I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not going to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to work for me.
I feel like
So,
you're vocal about those things
mhm,
to an extent,
to
right?
an extent,
But I
to
don't.
an extent.
But then when it comes to like your feelings,
Mhm. Cuz I'll be in my head a lot.
right?
And so I think that's probably where, like dating gets difficult for me.
I mean, obviously, no one wants to be rejected.
Oh,
I think
no.
that's the hard part about dating is like it's nerve wracking to be like the first one to
Mhm.
say something,
Mhm.
right? But also, I mean, and that's where, because I feel like in thinking about like old school dating and courting and all that,
Right.
you know, the man is supposed to take the lead,
Mhm.
and some people feel like that's still supposed to happen. So I feel like a lot of women feel like we need to just wait for him to vocalize his feelings. Cause like in the show, you know what I'm saying? Like they have to wait for a proposal.
Mhm.
They spend their time, however, but they're waiting for somebody to propose to them and let them know that now we can move forward.
Mhm.
But me,
You going to shoot your shot.
I'm gonna shoot my shot.
I'm trying to think
And
how that
low
ever.
key,
I remember shooting my shot one time in high school and I don't even know what came over me that day. But I kept seeing this guy and I did it. And so he said that he was dating somebody, which was, like, okay, cool. Because now, and
oh Lord, what my friend about to say? Oh Lord,
how sometimes, people that you have crushes on before just don't
you
end
look
up
back
looking
and be
that
like,
great.
what was I thinking? What? Yeah,
But
definitely.
they were, I mean, They were good looking back then. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, I remember shooting my shot then, and I'm more so of a person that, like I said, like I will position myself.
Facts.
So, like I'll give you the eye contact. I'll pick up what you putting down.
You're not gonna say nothing.
And like now a lot of things are done on social media anyway. So, if you're liking hearting pictures and stuff like that, like a lot of that goes back and forth. Some of them, don't get me wrong, if the picture is nice, it's cute, like I'm gonna like it. I don't care who it is.
Right.
But like you have the stories now. So if you're commenting within the story and different things like that, what's up? Hey. Yeah, like, but I have also like, I don't know, sometimes people are hard to read. So like I can even remember like telling someone, we had exchanged phone numbers and things. And so it wasn't consistent though, like the texting and things like that. And so, how sometimes guys will be like, oh, like, why? I see that you're doing this or doing that. Like, where's my invite? You have my whole phone number. When you're ready to use it, use it. So I have, like said things like that because who wants to go back and forth on some dumb stuff?
I feel that.
There's no other way to put it.
Now me, I'll be like, I'm going to go get some tacos. Is you coming or not? Or
Is you is or is you ain't?
What you doing today? Because I want to see you. I don't got no problem.
But see me, like I kind of feel some type of way about that because I also like a big part of me also feels like, okay, if this person wants to spend time with me, they're gonna let that be known.
Right.
And maybe that's the thing for me.
I feel you. I feel that. But
Because
go ahead.
Go ahead. I think I feel that way because it's like and I'm saying I feel, and I could be totally wrong. I feel like the nature of a man is, like when he wants something, he's going to go and get it. And so if we're reciprocating that we're interested in one another, can we not just
right? You need to let me know.
Let me know, like, or I'll even say things like, oh, like, well, when you're free, maybe we should go get a drink or dinner or something like that.
So that's a soft invitation.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to let you know that it's okay for you to ask me out.
Right.
I feel that.
See, I'm not.
You're not going to ask
me. Very rarely am I the aggressor.
I personally am used to being the outgoing one. Mm-hmm. In most of my relationships, like, and not necessarily romantic relationships, but just like my friendships, my interactions with other people, I am used to being the one that's like, hey, want to be my friend?
Yeah, because you came and got me, girl.
Right. I used to know when I first moved back, I used to just give girls my number all the time and be like,
I love it.
Hit me up. And so
that's great.
But I feel like my relationship with dating and doing that with men is rooted in like irony. Maybe irony is not the right word, but like me not really taking anything too seriously. Mm-hmm. And just being like when I was probably not in high school, I was really shy when I was younger, through high school, let's say. But then I started feeling myself at a point, and I was just like, you know what? He would be, what's the word, blessed to have me in his presence.
You feel me?
If he don't get that, then whatever. But I'm gonna let him know I want to do something. And if he don't,
I think that's awesome though, because then what's that? We keep seeing on memes and different things like that. If you shoot your shot, then you're more likely to get what you want.
That's my whole. I be like a closed mouth.
Yeah, and then to have people that you don't want approaching you.
A closed mouth don't get fed.
And let's also talk about this while we're talking about dating. I'm not finna date nobody that I'm not attracted to. So I don't care how shallow someone thinks that is, the attraction has to be there.
This is a fact.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's real.
Sorry.
Now, I have had people grow on me before.
Right.
And most of the time, that's how my friend zoned people end up. We end up in a bad place because he's hilarious. At first, I was like, nah, I'm not really attracted to this fella, but he's cool.
But something about that person is, attracted to you. You're attracted to it. Something
Right,
about that person.
right,
And maybe they weren't like horrible to look at.
right. I've
So,
also met some lookers and then been like, no, God,
yes.
he seems
Yes.
like a dum dum.
Yes. Like as soon as they open their mouth and it's like,
yuck.
is this person serious?
Don't come over here yucking. Boy, if you don't get on,
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't have
So
time for your shenanigans.
yes. So we were talking earlier and we were talking about like what do we want it to look like? What do we want to keep
Right,
from the whole courting as they did
right.
back in the day?
And
I'm here for the courting. And like I said, it's the effort. It's the effort for me.
do you feel like it needs to be seasonal? It
Seasonal?
was like summertime on it. Or was it spring? Was it spring?
It looked like spring.
I can't remember. I think
No.
I don't know. It was just, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't need the seasons.
Okay.
Um, as far as like the settings where they would have like these social things, I'm here for that. But would that not kind of also be like today's festivals and different things like that?
The club.
The club.
That's the club.
But however, they try to say like if you met them in the club, that's not,
Please.
no, because no.
I told my sister I'm finna put a little list on my wrist and have them sign up to dance with me
What you gonna put the list on?
on my wrist. They had like a little piece of paper hanging on their wrist on Bridgerton. And they was,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
do you have any more room on your dance card tonight? I'm gonna have me a
Yeah.
dance card.
I,
Hmm.
that could be a thing.
Hmm.
So instead of like speed dating, you could go to the club and have a wristlet with names on it.
Dudes are so, they would not be down for that.
So that's another thing. Okay, so in dating, I also feel like people are so possessive. And so once you start talking to someone, it's like, oh, I don't want you to talk to anybody else. And I'm not going to say that's just dudes because I feel like that's people all around, especially if you're liking them. And,
Right,
and so in your mind, and I found that with myself also, I'm like, I don't want him talking to nobody else.
right.
But also because I am one of those people that, all right, like I want to treat somebody the way that I want to be treated. So if there is somebody else that I may be interested in, like I'm not gonna overreact or act crazy, because what if I want to date somebody else, or what if I'm just over here chilling and there's nothing going on, but this person is thinking in their mind
Right.
something completely different. And so a lot of how I respond or behave has to do with how I would want someone else to treat me.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
I do feel like people start this talking relationship, and I guess talking is considered dating, like once you actually start spending time with
What
each
is
other.
talking? Is
So
that
it's
dating? Did we just name dating something different?
so I guess talking is the stage before you actually go on the date, maybe. Or maybe you need
Like
a
that.
couple dates before you can actually say, okay, I'm dating this person.
I
I don't
don't want
know.
to talk. I want to go on a date.
Yeah, but like, is there not a process where you talk a little bit before you actually go on the date? And maybe one date does not mean that you're dating.
That's true.
Several dates would be dating, right?
I guess
Maybe.
talking is necessary. I guess that getting to know a person, period, is necessary. But also, I'm not going to do that for 50, 11 years.
Right.
Don't be talking to me and not even asking me on a date.
No.
I feel like we got
So,
2 conversations to decide if we want to go on a date or not. And then
right.
we got about 10 dates to decide what's up.
10.
Man, is that high? Is that a lot? I feel like I like to see people a lot. So that's like too much.
I guess that's also what you consider as an actual date. What
Yeah.
is a date?
Us going somewhere and doing something.
I agree.
Right?
A date could be so many different things. And I think right now, because we're all in a pandemic, you just have to be creative. And so for me, it's the effort for me. It's the creativity. Like, it could be minimal to someone else, but like just like being creative about it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because there are a lot of like public things that we are not able to do.
Right.
And so we also fall into, I'm just going to say, fall into a trap of like being at one another's homes because we're in a pandemic.
Right.
And so, what are we going to do to be creative about this? Because there are other things to do than to have sex at
Let's go
someone's home.
outside. That's my answer to it. I'm not coming to your house. We can go for a walk.
I would love to go for a walk.
It's cold. So obviously I don't date in the wintertime because
Okay.
it's too cold.
You could go for coffee or tea.
I'm not trying to be outside like that.
Go to a garden somewhere. I
It's
don't know.
cold.
A heated one.
Okay, you fancy.
Some place that has a heated something.
I feel that. Because I don't like, as far as like being safe, I'm not really trying to be in enclosed spaces like that. And outside is too cold. That's just where I am right now as far as dating. So anybody who wants to ask your girl out, please wait till the spring. We can talk now. We can do that part now. Oh, we can have a Zoom date. I'm not opposed to a Zoom date.
I listen. So I have had a like a FaceTime. I don't even know if I would call it a date before it actually happened, but it kind of ended up being a date, and it was great. It was lit. But you know, you and I and some of our other friends have had those, like, we'll set a time where we'll all come on like the Facebook rooms or Zoom or
Yeah.
whatever, and you know, like have drinks together. And so that is definitely doable.
That's
Like,
cute.
you could literally have dinner and drinks on FaceTime, on a Zoom, whatever you use. And I
That's
think that
cute.
is awesome. Like, we could I could order you food, you could order me food, have it sent to the house. I'm just throwing stuff out there. So if any
Yeah,
guys watch
free
this,
game. Free game. Let me look into the camera.
it's a thing. Do you remember that couple that got together over the pandemic and they had like their first date? They were on the roof of separate buildings
That's cute. No, I didn't.
and they like FaceTime each other.
That's cute. See, I want to do cute stuff. I want to be cute.
I love to
I
be
want to be out
cute.
here. Ooh, you can come over
And
to my
you
house.
know, when we can go out, like, I want to get cute and we
Yeah.
go out.
I want to get cute and get on the Zoom.
That too.
We can be cute. We don't have to
You
just be
feel
lame
me?
because we're in a pandemic. People just not trying to give no real effort.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But
Nobody wants
then
to put forth effort. I think a lot of people feel like they're just wasting their time, men and women.
I think that's what it is. I just feel like we got to be honest about what we want up front.
Yeah.
So if whatever reason you are here, sir, please be real about that.
Let me know.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to spin my wheels. Because I'm gonna let you know up front. Look, you cute and all, and I just want to kick it. Or hey, you seem like someone I might could spend the rest of my life with.
Right.
I just really don't know how I feel about spending the rest of my life.
But I feel like when you approach me, please do not stop at good morning, hey beautiful, hey gorgeous, because follow that up with the reason that you're here.
It's
Cause me, I'm gonna get mad, I'm gonna get bored.
sounds like these are DMs.
Yes, I'm not going back and forth, good morning and all of that. Like,
No.
you can say good morning, how are you?
And I feel like never. Like once
And
even after we exchange numbers, don't keep on texting me good morning, beautiful every day.
like, what do you want now? I don't mind a good morning, good night text. I don't.
No, I don't want that. Say something. Just start the conversation.
Well, you can say good morning, and then
Yeah,
good morning, comma, instead like we in an email.
I'm with that. Also, use commas. If I
Just
meet
tell
a
me
man
why.
that uses some commas in his text message, I'm gonna marry him.
Just my thing is, why are we here? What is it that you're wanting, that you're desiring?
I got a question, friend. This might be
Yeah.
personal, so you can decide if you want to answer it or not. I
Okay.
personally feel like historically in my relationships with men, I have basically let them define things. And I feel like a lot of women do that, right? So
Sis,
here's the like, what are we conversation?
sis.
And I feel like at this point in my life, I don't want to have a what are we conversation. I want to have a this is what I want and this is how I feel about you. And are we on one accord conversation?
So what's your question?
My question is, do you feel like you fall prey to that same thing? It sounds like
So
you do.
listen, before, yes, and like so many of my friends who are still dating, like we've had that conversation, and I'm over it. So I would say, as I was dating throughout 2020, I am over allowing other people to make decisions for me. So, I'm letting you know, okay, this is how I feel about you. This is what I want. How do you feel about this? Or, I was talking to my sister one day and she said, I guess she was reading something, and you can't just ask a man, like, what are we?
Right.
So maybe a better way of phrasing things is, what is your plan for us?
That's cute. But
You know,
also, I feel like that's still putting the ball in his court.
but I think at the same time, you can say, so if you lead with how you're feeling,
We finna run out of time.
what you're wanting, it's okay. Then you can ask them, like, what are your thoughts, and what is your plan for us? Because,
Okay.
I was talking to my friend like last night, nobody wants to be in their head so much about things like, what are we? And I feel like historically, the relationships that I have been in, like the real relationships, I'm not talking about talking to someone or a situationship, but a relationship. And I got 2 kids out of those relationships. They let me know, I want to be in a relationship with you.
Right.
Like, I'm serious about you. And this is where, I wanted to go. And we were young. So I feel like as we get older, why
Exactly.
can we not do that or say that? So that's when I feel like a man is serious about me. When he is saying that he wants me in that way to be in a relationship, and also when he's showing. So the actions and the words are matching.
So do you feel like it's not even necessary to have that conversation?
No, I think the conversation is necessary.
Okay, so when you come to the table and you say, what are your plans for us? And his, like, he don't got no plan.
What Chris
Okay.
Brown say, deuces.
I feel that.
Now,
I feel like,
now, and I'm not gonna lie, it might take me another week or two to like actually leave. But you know, people know when I leave, like I leave.
right.
I'm
Because I
out.
feel like, and I guess that's kind of an ultimatum, but I also just feel like, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with an ultimatum, honestly.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to be like, marry me or we're breaking up. But like, if you don't want to get married and I want to get married, why are we both still here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
make sense.
It
So,
doesn't. Because we enjoy each other's company. No, we're not aligned. This is not going anywhere.
yeah, we both need to be on the same page. And if we're not, then bye.
One of us is gonna bring the other one down.
And also, you
And I
don't
don't
need
have
to be
time.
exclusively enjoying my company.
Somebody being selfish. You don't really want me in that aspect, but you don't want anybody else to have me either.
Let's talk
And
about
I've seen
control.
this with men and women.
Control.
So don't nobody think that I'm like bashing bashing men. I guess I say all that to say I think dating is it's not I don't feel like that it's easy. I feel like when you're dating with intention, like you got to be intentional about it, like serious about it. You have to communicate and be vulnerable, like you said. And for a person like me, like that's not easy. I feel like I'm also very nice. And so if I say something that hurts your feelings, you've probably done something to piss me off. Or you've been like disrespectful,
Yeah.
because I am not the type of person that is intentionally going to be mean or rude or anything. But sometimes I feel like that's what some of y'all need. And so that's how I'm coming at you.
See, I feel like dating is complicated, but it's not complicated in the way that we make it. And what I mean by that is, I feel like people spend all this time like trying to read the other person and,
We
you
do.
know, figure out things when it could all be so simple if we just
Right.
communicate.
Right.
Right? If we're just honest and we communicate, we shouldn't have those issues as far as like the dating piece. I mean, it's
Well,
obviously important to a relationship as well, but the beginning stages, the dating, trying to decide will you or won't you, is only complicated when people are not being honest about their intentions or, whatever. So if you're
right.
honest about that, it doesn't necessarily have to be that complicated. I feel like it gets complicated when you have to do that introspection with yourself. Ooh, child. And you have to, because you have to really know what you want.
Yes.
Right? That's the complicated piece. Because even when I think about like dating now, I don't know. I don't really know what I want. Because obviously I am not sold on marriage. But then I feel like I could be with somebody for like 10 years. But anyway, but like you have to be honest with yourself first. That's the
Right.
complicated piece. It's like,
And that's the thing. So if you are not, whole on your own as an individual, it's hard to like, I feel like it's hard to date successfully. So, I was single. I mean, I'm still single, but even before I would really allow myself to date, like single for a long, long time. And I feel like honestly, the past year has been the point in my life where I was really more intentional or even able to date in a real capacity, if that makes sense. Because, I had to learn to like really accept me. And, even though like a lot of our adulthood, we spend, you know, basically like rewiring ourselves,
right.
and dealing with all of the issues that we have as individuals. You have to be able to do that in order to successfully build a partnership with another person.
Right.
If you don't like yourself, if you can't deal with yourself, if you can't control yourself, there is no way that you can successfully be in a healthy relationship with another adult. And so that's why I am so, what's the word, passionate about, you know, healing yourself and really like getting to know yourself and accepting yourself. And
Right.
not everyone is going to like you.
And that's fine.
And that's fine. A lot of people don't like themselves. And so if I know that you don't like yourself and you don't like me,
I also just feel like I'm not for everybody.
I'm not
I'm not everyone's.
at all.
Some
And that's
the
okay.
person who is more quiet, or whatever.
But, you know, I also feel like, you know, I'm so content with being single and I like to have my alone time. If I am giving up my alone time to spend time with you, then I must like you.
Mm.
Because like we said before, like I have friendships and I have people that, you know, I do hobbies with, or, you know, do it by myself. I have kids who are needy. At some point I'm thinking that, okay, like I can date now. My kids don't require as much attention as they used
Right.
to before. And then the next week, they right up under me.
Right.
And maybe I can't date in the capacity that I thought I could.
Exactly.
And so I feel like maybe when I find that person that like really understands that and we can navigate that together, then, you know, like we can really build something healthy. But I have to have a person that is really healthy and whole, because otherwise I feel like I'm going to eat them alive.
It's just I like, there's so much introspection. Like, I just
Yes.
keep going back to that. Like, you have to be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not to say that you have to have had every breakthrough, or
No.
like have all your shit together, but like, if you're getting ready to bring somebody else into something, you need to have an idea of what's up.
Right. What 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 do you need?
Right.
Who are you? And
Because
being
I
able
do,
to communicate that, like you said.
and to be honest, I think it is like getting to know yourself as yourself
Yes.
alone is
Mm-hmm.
different than getting to know yourself in dating and in a relationship, right?
Yes.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like yes, I'm me and I'm the same person, but the dynamics of a whatever relationship changes the way that I interact
Yes.
with that person. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I think dating is so important, and why you shouldn't just immediately restrict yourself to one person as soon as y'all go on the first date and you kind
Mm-hmm.
of like them, because you're still getting to know yourself as someone who could potentially be in a relationship or someone who is dating,
Right.
right? So, yeah, it's like you have to know yourself to an extent, but you
Yes.
also have to be open to
Mm-hmm.
like learning who you are
Mm-hmm.
in this
Yes.
relationship or this dynamic specifically,
Mm-hmm.
and how you see
Because
that. And are you willing to take part in that dynamic? Are you willing to be the person that you are in that dynamic for X amount of time?
right.
Because this is some trauma of my own, but I feel like personally, I'm like a really fun loving person. But I've been in relationships where it's been hard for me to be fun because they're irresponsible
Mm,
to the extent where I feel like I can't even be my fun loving self
no.
because I have to take on all of the things, you know?
We're not taking on any more children.
Yeah.
Grown adults.
No,
No.
God, no.
We're not doing that.
Right.
However, you know, I really get everything that you're saying. And I was talking to someone earlier about, you know, like different people also bring different things out of you.
Exactly.
So, like you said, do you even like who you are with this person?
Right.
Can you be can you be your true authentic self with this person? And that's what I would like to be. My true authentic self.
Right.
And I know that I can be a lot.
But I feel like you're a lot. Like some people can handle that and some people can't. So,
Right.
and that's why it's so important to be vulnerable in dating and not just wait until like things are official or you're in a relationship and blah 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 to like really
Right.
share who you really are,
Right.
because then it's too late. Like
Mhm.
now we're like locked into this thing. You want to be a whole different person? No, that's
Mm-mm.
dumb. Like be you day one.
Right. And I also feel like people kind of like put a lot of emphasis on, I'm trying to think how I want to word this, but like who they want you to be for
Mm,
them.
mm,
And my whole thing is, if you're not willing to be those things for yourself, do not expect me to be those things. So for me, it's important for me to see that that person is putting in the work for themselves, because that lets me know that if you don't play about yourself, you're not going to play about me.
mm.
Okay.
Yeah,
And for me, that is important.
I feel you.
That is so important.
I just need, not need, but yeah, if we're doing like we're dating,
Need.
talking or whatever, I need you to just be real
Hmm.
about what's up.
Right. And
And
and if that person, the other person doesn't like it, then that person is not for you.
that's it. Like I feel like people will hold back their feelings or hold back what they really want to do, or you know, withhold pieces of themselves
Yeah.
in an effort to not scare the person off. But I just feel like this is me. And if you are going to be scared off by this, then I'd rather scare you off on day 2
Yeah.
than day 62.
That's true.
You need to run for the hills if this is not a person that you can handle.
I think so much of us want, like, we just like kind of water ourselves down a little bit
Right.
in hopes that this person will like us, but we don't even know if we like them.
Well, exactly.
So why?
I've honestly, so like, I since I've opened myself up to dating this past year, I have spilled my tea to a number of people. But that's because I just feel like, what's up? Oh, you like me? Well, let me give all of this to you. And so you still want to do this or not?
You sure about this?
Yeah, because I've had a lot of guys be like, "Oh wow, you're really open," like, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's no point in me fucking being closed." Oh,
I,
but
but I feel like you have to kind of be like that to a certain extent. And so I really love that about you, because you're also like not wasting any time. Like the way that I grew up, I know they say like we're supposed to be discreet and all of that. And so I am, but because that was the way that I grew up. But also at the same time, like this is what you get. Like this is what I am. This is who I am. Like this is what I believe in. This is okay for me. This is not okay.
right, take it or leave it, bruh.
Right.
What's up?
But I'm not gonna say that I'm like perfect on all of those things.
Right,
Like
I'm
I'm
nowhere near,
still I'm still actively like working through so much of that.
and I don't even know what I want. Like,
I know
so
what I want.
I don't know what I want.
I know what I don't want.
See, and I feel like that's different. I definitely know I don't want,
It is different.
but it's not the same as knowing what I do want.
Friend, we're gonna have to write up our list of non-negotiables again.
I got my list somewhere. No, actually, my list was not non-negotiables. It was just things that
That were necessities. You're
yeah,
yeah.
that are necessities. Yeah. Mm.
We need a
And how
2021
many
list
times have
now.
I looked at that list and been like, well, he doesn't quite meet that requirement, but let's just see what's up in
Let's see where it goes and straight to hell.
Yes, straight to hell.
Oh
Okay.
my
Real quick before we go, I wanted to also get your thoughts on timeline because obviously in Bridgerton and like old courting or whatever, like in some cultures today, like things move rapidly, right?
God. Hmm.
So you court or date and once somebody's like, okay, really like you, let's do this, let's get married. Like it's not like, oh, we've been dating, let's do you want to be my girlfriend? No, no, let's get married.
Let's get married. Now,
Right. So how do you feel about timeline? Now we already said that like talking is pre-dating and then there's dating.
I feel like after several dates,
How many is several?
I don't know, child. It's hard for me to like, I can't put a number on the amount of dates
Okay.
because, like, even between the dates, do you not have conversations, phone
Right.
calls, FaceTimes, texts, whatever?
Can we also stop that? I just feel like we're too accessible in
D-
in this day and age. Like we don't need to be in constant contact all day texting.
mm-hmm.
Why?
Man, I don't mind. I like a FaceTime because that's
I can
different.
do FaceTime now.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. We can FaceTime, but like for us to be texting all day, because I feel like some people have standards about like, oh well, I expect to be texted back within X amount of time.
No.
These kids try to come up in here. Or stuff like that, or like if I text you and you don't answer me for 5 hours, am I gonna feel away, blah blah, like nobody got time.
Nobody wants to, but it is a thing. So it also depends on like the patterns of that person.
Right, maybe that's a boundary that you and your person need to have in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you get back to your timeline.
So it's hard for me to like actually put a number on it. However, I do feel like after months of dating someone, all right, let's go back. So we talk in the beginning, right?
Okay.
Then we start to go out on dates.
Okay. How long
Okay.
are you talking?
I don't know. It
Until you feel
depends
like you
on.
get to know this person well enough that you want to go on a date? Because
Now,
I
talking, I don't think it takes a long time to like talk to somebody and say,
okay.
hey, let's go on a date. Like that can all happen within a week.
Okay. Okay.
And so let's say we go on a date, we like each other, we plan another date, right? So planning is also important. Now, like once you get more comfortable with the person, spontaneous stuff is great. But we grown out here. Everybody has responsibilities and things like that. So for me, it's important to plan
Because
because
that
that
makes you
also
a whole
lets me
mom.
know. Yeah, that also lets me know that I'm important enough for you to, you know, box out this space of time to spend with me, right? Or vice versa, right?
Mhm.
So then I think that after, I'm gonna say several because I can't put a number on like the
Okay,
amount
that's
of
fine.
dates because I feel like you go from dating to dating exclusively. Like, okay, I like this person, so I'm gonna date them, and then that dating hopefully leads to a serious relationship, right?
Right.
And so the whole proposal and stuff like that, I hope that it doesn't take 5 years for someone to propose to me. I personally don't think I could do 5 years.
Friend, I have another question while we're discussing this proposal piece.
Okay.
As a grown up,
Mhm.
how do you feel about shacking up? Are you shacking up? Would you shack up at this point in your life?
I would have to feel very seriously and deep. Like I would have to know that. I think I would probably have to be engaged to the person
Okay,
to shack up because of my kids.
I agree.
I'm a mom and I'm a boy mom. And so for me, I feel like, and this don't have anything to do with anybody else, but I just feel like there's a certain standard or a certain way that I have to live my life as an example for them.
Mm.
And so like having a man in my home with them, or getting a place with another man with my kids, like that has to be extremely serious
Yeah, I feel
in
it.
order for me to do that. Or and
I'm
that's
with,
even like having a man come spend time at my home,
I'm with you.
and
We'll
having a
be
man
up in
wake
my
up at
crib.
my home. That's what
Yeah, that's crazy.
with my kids here.
I
Yeah.
feel it. I'm not shacking up.
Yeah, like the only time I did, like we had a kid together already. And he had been in my oldest son's life for years before that. And so we were in a relationship. That's what it was. That's the only time. I don't know, friend. That's
Now, back in the day, when I was just a single out here, I felt that shacking up was about practicality. And I was like, somebody wants to put these bills with me? Yeah, let's.
yeah.
But like now, I just feel like that's too much. And then if we break up, it's just too much. So no,
I think it's definitely different for single people with kids versus single without.
right. Um, as far I think my timeline, I don't mind a shorter timeline, but I mean like obviously not like Bridgerton timeline. If that's too much,
Right.
that's too short. But like I don't know.
Don't want it too short or too long either. But it's hard for me to like actually put a number on it. I
I
think that
feel that.
I feel like if you're in a serious relationship with someone, you should probably be ready to get married within at least 2 years, a year or two, right?
That don't sound crazy. Yeah.
It don't sound crazy to me.
I just think I'm not gonna talk to you for a million years. No.
Right, right.
Because that requires me to be accessible to you. And no, I'm not doing that for
Forever,
a
right?
long period of time.
Are you serious about me, or are you not?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if I've already let you know that I'm serious about you. Like,
And that's
are
exactly
we
why I'm not gonna do it. Because
are we
you
on the
already
same page or not?
yeah, you already know the person that I am, so I'm coming up front letting you know how I feel and what's up. And if you not reciprocating, then we're good. Let's move on with our lives.
Right. I
But
feel like, and I will say this too, I feel like, we feel a certain way about things. We have to also be operating in those things because it's so easy to,
talk
you
about
know, what do they say? Short yourself
mm-hmm.
and like fall into a trap because you like a person or you're vibing with a person.
Exactly.
Like, but is this really going to go somewhere? Are you maintaining your standards and your boundaries?
Them boundaries, honey.
Okay. So like I have to preach to myself all the time. Like, all
Girl.
right, sis, you said you was gonna do A, B, C, and D.
Right.
Are
And
you gonna
like
stick to it?
it's because I feel like when you're single, it's so clear, right? When you're not interested in anybody, it's so clear how you want it to look.
Right.
But then once somebody comes around and you all flooded by
Right.
how fine he is and his fresh cut and
Them chemicals start going off in your brain.
right. And now you hot and you can't function when you under the influence. And so you start letting stuff slide or doing things a little bit differently than you planned or
Right.
whatever. So it definitely takes you holding yourself accountable
Yes.
at every stage. I
Ooh, child.
just court me and be
I want the
reciprocal.
effort. I want the courting.
Yeah. I
And
want the
I
effort.
also feel like I think a lot of guys feel like, why should they do all of this for a woman? First of all, we should not be doing these things looking for something in return, right? We should be doing these things because, oh, this other person deserves it and I like them. This is how I want to show my interest or whatever.
Right.
So this is why we're doing it. We're not doing it for, I'm not saying not for reciprocity, but we're not doing it looking for something.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I think like what we're doing should be building
Mm-hmm.
up to, something more. Like,
Right.
don't,
Right.
like, if you feel like, I'm not doing all that for no woman, then this ain't the woman for you.
I'm not the woman for you if you feel like that.
Yeah, or even if I feel like that about a dude, like if I feel like, oh no, I'm not doing all that for him, then clearly I don't really want to be with him in any
No,
serious
because I want to be with somebody that I can just like spoil and go all out for, like
time.
do very intentional, sweet gestures and things like that. I want us to be like actively trying to outdo each other.
Now, I will say that I personally have boundaries about what I am going to do in the dating stage
Mm-hmm.
versus, you know,
Right.
like I'm not gonna be coming over and cooking you breakfast before you go to work. like and
Well,
like
that's relationship type stuff, right?
exactly. So I'm not gonna be
I agree.
acting like your wife when I'm not
Exactly.
that.
Now, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
I'm not your wife
yeah,
because, and I feel like that because now once I get married or find, my life partner, if I was giving all those things to someone else, like what is there something special that I have to give to this man?
I feel like
If I was doing it for everybody else, but also at the same time, like if I'm doing it for someone that's not even really appreciative of it,
right.
is this even going to develop into something else? Because they already getting the milk for free, like the old folks say, right?
And to be clear, this is not specifically about sex. Like,
No.
but it's about tons of other things. Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely not I can't be overextending myself for someone and we just talking. Like, what do I look like? We're not even that cool. It's the
I
same
feel
way I'm
like
not gonna like help someone that I just met yesterday move. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
we're not friends like that. You
No.
have boundaries for your like acquaintances versus your
Hmm.
real friends versus your, day ones or whatever. So same thing.
Right.
Bye. Oh no, I gotta figure out a way to like be like, no, I'm not doing that. I guess that's probably the way, huh?
No is a sentence
Yeah.
without an explanation. Sorry. No.
You're right. Oh, I forget that so often that no is a sentence. No is a full sentence.
Because we're nice. We're so
See, that's
nice.
all we people pleasers.
And yes, and we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk to my therapist more about that.
But I have found myself, it's becoming easier to say, no, not today.
Right.
No, I'm not. No, I can't.
I want to get to the point where I can say no.
No.
I don't want to do that,
Yeah, I
and
don't
I
really
feel like I
want.
need to make up an excuse or
Yes. Or you be like, maybe next time. Just leave
yeah.
that whole part out.
No, I don't want to.
I'm getting more comfortable with it. I'm really proud of myself.
Once I get there and I can just be like, no, I don't want to do that to
Hmm.
anyone and everyone.
Like,
I
that's not
can't
going to
feel
work
like
for
I've
me.
arrived. I don't want to do that.
That's not going to work for me.
That's a good one too. That doesn't work for me. Nope. Mm.
And shout out to the people that respect that when you say that. Now, that is a turn on.
Y'all are the real MVPs.
Yes. That is lovely.
Yeah. Of course, this has all come back to boundaries.
Hmm.
What if it's not a whole mom episode if it doesn't come back to boundaries?
Boundary queen here.
But yeah, I think dating is interesting. We'll be talking about it for the rest of February.
Hmm.
Dating and relationships, juggling relationships. Um, so these will be interesting conversations. I feel like dating is definitely
Absolutely.
a frontier that is still murky for me. I mean, I don't have anything all figured out in any way, but
Right.
dating is just, I'm still at the very beginning.
I feel like I'm at the beginning too, but I'm definitely like learning some things about myself and others. And so like I'm out here. It's interesting. It's helping me to develop, and it's also like you said, so much of that introspection and really discovering who I am
Girl,
in the dating world.
right. That's what it is.
But I mean, it's helping me discover who I am in general at the same time.
Hmm.
Like what parts of myself that I like still need to work on, and what parts like I've done a good job with.
Right.
What's my, excuse my language, what's my shit and what's is someone else's. So being
Honey.
able to take responsibility and accountability for mine and leaving you with yours.
Woo, a word.
So it's
Okay.
where we are.
All right.
So
Friends.
I'm looking forward to our upcoming conversations about dating.
And
February.
because I feel like there's a whole nother layer with the parenting piece too.
Hmm.
Like today
Hopefully
we
we
just
can
touched
bring it
on
all together.
right. Because today we just touched on the dating piece, really.
Hmm.
But then like we have to also think about the fact that we have other responsibilities and these little
Because
people.
we're a whole mom out here.
So there's that. Okay, friends. Thank y'all for watching.
Thanks,
Um,
guys.
I forgot what I was gonna tell y'all something, but I done lost the name. I don't know. We'll
You was
see.
gonna tell them to like us, follow us.
Yeah. Oh, and also, let us know how you feel about the dating scene in 2021. What are your ideas about courting? What does your timetable look like? And like, what is your boundaries around dating?
What is working for you? What's not?
Because we might could take some tips, honestly.
Look, if you guys have some people for us,
Hmm.
look. So I saw somebody post about like, if have you ever been on a blind date before? If you guys have someone that you think you want us to go on a blind date with, we may be open to that.
I'm down for a blind date. I am dead.
So,
aWHOLEmom@gmail.com. Email us. I blinded your nephew. My brother,
your uncle too.
Your daddy, maybe.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.